increasing world demand for removal of a prison of Guantanamo U.S. naval base. The international community denounces the United States for its immoral atrocities in the prison of Guantanamo naval base and demands removal of this concentration camp at an early date. Some time ago, the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs blogged in its website human rights violations by the United States at the Guantanamo concentration camp. According to data, the United States has detained more than 770 people in the concentration camp as terrorists over the past 10 years since its opening. Detainees suffered all sorts of inhuman maltreatment and even severely tortured. Worse still, the United States imposed long-term imprisonment upon most of the detainees without trial and detains them for a long time. Nearly 10 of the detainees reportedly died of brutal tortures and inhuman maltreatment. Still now, more than 170 are detained at the Guantanamo concentration camp without any legal rights. They are said to be in despair without any hope for the future. The prison of Guantanamo U.S. naval base is a living evidence of the true aspect of the United States, the worst violator of human rights in the world. In the new century, the United States turned the Guantanamo U.S. naval base not only into an aggressive military base, but also into a slaughterhouse under the pretext of war on terror after the September 11th incident. The United States has built the gruesome concentration camp and detained many innocent people as terror suspects. The U.S. imperialist aggressive forces incessantly put the detainees under brutal tortures prohibited by international law. They set military dogs on the prisoners and put dirty hoses into the mouths of hunger strikers and forced them to take food. Furthermore, they went so far as to outrageously put into a toilet stool the Koran, deified by the Islamic prisoners before their very eyes. Whenever the inhuman atrocities against innocent prisoners at the Guantanamo concentration camp were open to the public, the world expressed bitter resentment and strongly demanded the closure of the camp at an early date. The world demands that the U.S. naval base be completely removed and the Guantanamo Bay handed over to Cuba. Such a demand came from the United States as well. Despite the strong demand of the public of the United States and international community, the U.S. rulers are putting off the removal of the Guantanamo concentration camp under an unjust pretext. The present U.S. chief executive had set it as his major election pledges to remove the concentration camp. But after the passage of time, he is not removing the camp under different pretexts. Under such circumstances, the U.S. House of Representatives recently ratified provisions of the law on perpetual imprisonment of terrorists at the concentration camp, making it almost impossible to remove the prison of Guantanamo U.S. naval base. Such illegal acts of the United States trigger off a strong resistance of the international community. On January 11th, the anniversary of the establishment of the Guantanamo concentration camp, hundreds of members of major human rights organizations, including the Amnesty International, met before the White House in the United States and staged a demonstration in demand of the removal of the camp. Similar demonstrations were staged not only in major cities of the United States, but also in different parts of the world, including France, Canada, Spain, Germany, Britain, and the Middle East. Reporting to the fact, foreign dispatches maintain that the United States should lend an ear to the strong demand of the international community, remove the prison of the Guantanamo naval base as early as possible, close down the secret prisons abroad, and put an end to the human rights violations.